Hello everybody and welcome to this week's Everton show. We're in the charming Italian city of Parma, where last night at the Mapei Stadium, Everton kicked off Europa League Group E with a disappointing result against Atalanta.
A lot went wrong, except maybe after a difficult start, maybe 10 minutes, that we had a little bit better the ball and it was a little bit more comfortable. But okay, ball position was poor. But the most painful was in the first half that they showed more aggression, that they showed more passion. And that's really painful because, in my opinion, it starts with that, and then you need qualities on the ball. And that's a good question to the manager, of course, because I ask myself the question what I'm doing wrong. About the second half against Tottenham, and the first half because it's not the way how I like to see my team. We can play bad football, we can missing chances to score, but the commitment, the passion, what they showed to us in the first half was much bigger than we showed together.
You know, last three performances we've done have nowhere near been good enough. So, regardless of whether we need time or not, you know, they've been tough games. You know, we've got to admit that. But at the same extent, we need the fight and the desire to be there. And you know, thankfully, second half we came out. Obviously, they didn't have to try and score another goal, but we put on a little bit of a better performance. But even then, you know, saved ourselves from probably being embarrassed.
We knew from the beginning of July that the start of the season was really tough. Okay, we need to accept it, but that's not the problem. The problem is what we showed in the first half together.
Do you feel for the supporters?
Yeah, massively. Went over to clap them at the end. It wasn't nice to be able to do. They've spent a lot of time and a lot of money to get here. Like I say, we're devastated for ourselves with a result, but obviously the performance lets the fans down the most.
Sharpie, a very, very difficult game to analyse. Where did it go wrong?
Went wrong from the very start, Darren. I think that, you know, that Everton didn't start particularly well, but they were still in the game. There were a couple of half chances, but we conceded 3 bad goals, really bad goals. And when you do that, it's very hard to come back from that. And then certainly in the second half, we huffed and puffed. They had another couple of opportunities. We didn't really threaten that much. And overall, a really, really disappointing performance and a disappointing night.
We just didn't carry a goal threat in either half, did we?
No, we didn't. I thought young Calvert-Lewin started well, but yeah, and then they kind of got on top of him, and we didn't really have a lot of movement up top. It wasn't really working for us. We made the substitutions in the second half with the hope that it was going to maybe turn things around, but it didn't. You know, and they could have even added to the tally, which is a worrying thing. You know, obviously we had Vlasic coming in and making his debut, who did reasonably well. You know, on the occasion, but we weren't at the races there. They looked quicker, fitter, and we didn't again have any threat in that final third. That has been the problem. And when you do that and you don't have a final threat, there's more reliance on the back four to keep a clean sheet, and it's hard to do. And I said the worrying thing is the goals we've conceded. You know, we're not scoring goals, but the goals we're conceding are poor goals, and that must be a worry for the manager.
Atalanta looked dangerous every time they crossed the halfway line.
They did. They had the 10, you know, who the captain Gomez, who kind of controlled things, but they also had a threat in their centre forward. You know, he looked really, really lively. He could get hold of the ball. He was strong. He was powerful. He was quick. So he was a threat to us all night. Those two players were the real threat to us. And every time they went forward, they looked as if they could score a goal. So it could have been a lot worse than 3-0, but a really disappointing start to the campaign. We expected to come here and get a good result and build our confidence up for the game on Sunday at Old Trafford. But the manager has a lot of building up to do for the players, because they will be shell-shocked after that, because you could see from the reaction from our supporters who weren't happy with the performance that they saw, and they need to get back in, roll the sleeves up and work extremely hard, you know, to overturn this little slump in form. Yeah, I think Lyon will be the favourites to win the group, and you know, I was thinking that even we challenged for second, and I still don't think it's beyond us. I still think we're more than capable of making the second or even getting the top spot, but it has to be a lot better than what we've seen today. Overall, as in what we're looking at, wasn't good enough on the night, but still plenty to play for. Europa League, put it to bed for this moment in time and look forward to the game at Old Trafford.
Well, we moved quickly on from the Europa League last night, Graham, and no less than table-topping Manchester United on Sunday at Old Trafford.
Couldn't ask for anything tougher. You know, they've started the season really, really well. They're scoring goals. They look physically strong now, and certainly they're going to be contenders for the title. So for our boys, we've got to bounce back after the disappointment of the last league game against Tottenham. But as a player, you want to go and play at Old Trafford. So fingers crossed. We know it's going to be a tough game, but hopefully we can get a result.
Manchester United are scoring goals, but they're also keeping clean sheets as well.
Well, that's something different. I think Mourinho's come in and he's now putting his stamp on his team. As I said, they're physically strong. Obviously, the loss of Pogba will be a big blow to them, but they've got quality players in their squad now, and it's a squad depth which I think will take them very, very close this year. It
was interesting, wasn't it, that Jose Mourinho said Marouane Fellaini's got a big role to play?
Well, he has. I don't think he's been the fans' favourite, you know, since he's been there, and you know, there's talk of him maybe leaving the football club. But you know, everybody knows Marouane Fellaini's qualities. He showed in midweek in the European game. He can come off the bench and have an impact. He scored a goal, and he's always going to be a threat to set pieces. So you know, he's a Mourinho type player. You know, he's big, he's physically strong, he's aggressive. You know, the sort of players that Mourinho likes. And so far, since Mourinho's been in charge, Marouane Fellaini's done really well.
We've already been to Manchester once this season. We've got a terrific result against Manchester City, a game we could easily have won. Why can't we do it again?
Of course we can. Now listen, Manchester United, you know, everybody forgets, you know, over the years when Sir Alex Ferguson, they were beating everybody who they come up against. So over the last few years, it hasn't been the same. No mighty Manchester United, you know. I think they're getting back to those ways under Mourinho. So I think the weekend Sunday's game will be really, really difficult for us. But there's no reason why, you know, we can't bounce back. You know, it's important that we have a positive reaction to the Tottenham game, and hopefully we'll see us getting the result.
Let's hope so. It's Manchester United against Everton on Sunday afternoon at Old Trafford. This is what Leighton Baines makes of this one.
The bits I've seen, they look like they've improved from last season. I think Romelu will have improved them. I think there's other players who already look to be performing better than maybe they were last season, and you know, I think, you know, a few people are saying they fancy them to be in contention for titles again, and that, you know, doesn't come as a surprise with the talent they've got and with the manager they've got. So, you know, it'll be a tough game for us.
And Stoke did well at the weekend, restricting them to a point, and mentioned with the manager that you've got, I guess you'd be feeling confident you could do the same at Old Trafford. Yeah, well, I think normally, as I say, when you prepare for a team, you'll see clips from different games, but you'll look, you know, at the last performance. So when that time comes, we'll probably look a little bit more at the, you know, what Stoke did to contain them, and you know, if we can take anything from that, we will. But if not, you know, ultimately we'll come up with our own plan based on, you know, what we are as a team and the players that we've got, the players the manager will pick to go out on the pitch.
Let's turn our attention to the under-23s now, Sharpie. A terrific win at Goodison Park against Tottenham Hotspur.
A fabulous win, you know, to win 4-1 at home against a, you know, good side like Tottenham. Obviously we had the first team game the day before, so hopefully that would put a few smiles on Everton fans, with the fact that, you know, they did really well, the boys, you know, and it was a really good performance, and some individual performances as well, which spring to mind. Obviously Oumar Niasse scored 2 goals, looked lively, and obviously like John Joe Kenny was another who's shone, and nice to see David Tenen getting on the score sheet as well. You know,
he's a great kid, isn't he?
He's a great kid, and it hasn't really worked out for him, but he's still at it, and he shows you he still wants to prove himself here. And obviously Adam Ola-Lookman scored a screamer as well. So very much a very positive match in lots of ways, but certainly the young players, you know, that'll do them world of good, winning so comfortably.
Unzi's got a lot of boys out on loan from the team that won the Premier League 2 title last season, but that's a 3-0 win away to Chelsea, a 4-1 win at home to Tottenham. It doesn't get better than that.
No, all credit to David. He's done really, really well, and they've kicked off the season well. But listen, the most important thing is the development of the young players, you know, and we can talk about Oumar Niasse, who's been in the Premier League last year on loan at Holland, done the business here. He's came back, and it just shows you what his attitude's about as well. You know, he's quite easily, you know, a move fell through at the last minute deadline day. He could easily have put his head down and sulked and thrown the towel in, but he hasn't. He's went in there, and the manager's now is looking at them. He's got back in the squad, so all credit to these players. He's just got to keep going and try and producing and at that level of football, and hopefully they can get the chance. But if they continue doing that, I'm sure David Unsworth will be having a word in the manager's ear and saying he's worth a chance.
Sharpie, sometimes when the under-23s play at Goodison Park, one or two of the young players don't quite rise to the occasion, but Unzi's boys played some smashing football.
Well, they do, Dan, and it's important to feature at Goodison Park and play your games at Goodison Park to give the players confidence. It's very different in our day. We played in the Central League, we played there every other week, but they get the odd occasion to do it, and when they do, you know, they seem to thrive on it, so fair play to them.
The Central League, those were the days, weren't they?
Yeah.
And that's just about it for part one of this week's Everton show, but don't go too far away, because coming up in part two we'll follow Tom Davis, Michael Keane, Phil Jagielka and Leighton Baines as they visit an Everton in the Community showcase event at the People's Hub on Spellow Lane. Welcome back to part two of this week's programme. I'm at the People's Hub on Spellow Lane, which is home to many of the Everton in the Community activities and is little more than a decent goal kick away from Goodison Park. This afternoon, this place is hosting an Everton in the Community showcase event, which is being attended by several members of Ronald Koeman's first team squad. It's nice and quiet in here at the moment, but let me tell you, that's about to change. Our first port of call this afternoon is a session called Health and Wellbeing, delivered by Everton in the Community's Dave Curtis. Just give us a little bit of background information on this one, Dave.
My project is Knowsley Veterans Hub, and that's run under the health and wellbeing pillar of the community. Every week we get together and do a coffee morning, so we get lads from all different backgrounds, obviously all served in the forces, and we just get together. And the session today is about resilience, so about showing resilience. And I know every single lad in that room, and myself, and probably every single footballer as well at Everton, has had to show resilience sometime in their life. So we obviously had Leighton down today, and you know, he's been fantastic speaking to the lads, being quite personal as well, which is fantastic.
Seems to be some good interaction going on in there, Leighton.
Yeah, it's been good. I say resilience is a topic that I think everyone can relate to. You know, everyone's got to be resilient at some point in their life, and you know what might feel or what might comparatively seem insignificant from one person's life to the next. Ultimately, it's all relevant. It's what you're going through, and as I say, there's times you've got to show that resilience, whether you're an adult, a child, whether you're in a high-pressure job or you don't work. It's, you know, they all bring their own challenges, and it's been a really interesting and open discussion. I enjoyed it.
Looks like a terrific session, gentlemen. Thanks very much for speaking to us. We'll let you get back in there. Now, this is a really, really interesting setup. There's drums of all shapes and sizes, there's drumsticks of all shapes and sizes, and just before these people start to make a right racket here at the People's Hub, Joe Rowe, just let us know what this is all about.
So as part of our NCS programme, Darren, we bring young people in to learn about their local community, and as part of that we have a samba band drumming session with a local band called Katumba. They come in and deliver the session to all our young people, and they learn about the history of samba bands and how the samba bands work in the local community to support those young people.
I just hope they're not going to let you anywhere near the drums, by the way, Tom, but you've been down to a few Everton in the Community events, and they're terrific, aren't they?
Yeah, they're always good. It's a good group of kids, like children here, and it's always good to be part of it, really, yeah.
And the staff do a terrific job as well, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. Even speaking to them, you can see how passionate they are about the events that they do, and the ones that I've been down to, they've all been a good laugh. So it's a credit to them, yeah, and the people working here.
And it makes a difference, Joe, doesn't it, when the lads come down, when the first team squad come down and get involved?
Yeah, you can see already just the buzz about in the room. I mean, you know, for the young people to see some of the players, they don't get to see them all that often apart from a Saturday afternoon on the pitch. So just by interacting with them and getting the chance to just say hello to them is brilliant.
What will the young people get from this session today?
So they'll get a chance to blow off a bit of steam with the drums. They'll have a chance to, you know, learn about samba, the history of samba, where it originates from. But they'll also get a chance to learn a new skill as well, which is vital for young people in the local community nowadays.
You going to have a go, Tom?
Yeah, I'm going to have a go. Don't know how good I'll be, but I'll definitely give it a try, yeah.
I'm sure you make an awful lot of noise. Enjoy the session, gentlemen. This particular session is called Employment, Education and Training. John MacDonald from Everton in the Community is going to put the flesh on the bones for us and tell us what this is all about.
This is a Premier League funded programme that helps young people 16 to 24 who for whatever reason are struggling to access the job market or re-engage in education. Many of these young people are in a very competitive marketplace these days, so We bring them in through a 12-week program, 2 days a week. We help them get involved in a structure that helps them learn some employability skills. More importantly, take part in lots of group activities like the one today, which is really drawing down lots of their creativity, thinking skills, planning skills. Ultimately, we're here to help open the door for new opportunities and help them access employment.
In any walk of life, a little bit of extra confidence can always help.
Massively. It's the main thing. You know, the guys here have welcomed me straight into the group, thrown some ideas my way, and you can see that they all feel really comfortable in the room. Some fantastic ideas on the project, and like you say, it's all down to the project that the guys do here. You know, a lot of people don't know where to turn, but you know, this is definitely a fantastic place, and so we're halfway through the session and looking forward to finishing the rest.
What type of things have they got you doing here?
Just getting my opinions, picking my brains, which obviously won't take too long. Yeah. But we're looking obviously ways to raise money for the help the home foundation. Obviously with Unzi and the 23s have been doing something fantastic, and we're looking at designing shirts, little campaign behind it as well, a bit of fundraising, and at the moment both groups are doing really well.
Well, I think the Samba band are warming up, desperate to get going. I'm sure we'd still be able to hear Phil Jagielka, but we'd struggle with John, so let's go out to the Cruyff Court and see what's going on out there.
Well done.
Well, we're outside now on the Cruyff Court here at the People's Hub. I'm joined by Olivia Cardwell, who's running the sport development session. What's this all about, Olivia?
So we've brought some of our primary stars participants down today to just do some multi-skill sessions. We worked in this school for about 2 years now, and this year we're looking at some communication skills mixed into their PE, so some leadership stuff, some resilience, some teamwork, all of the Premier League primary stars values incorporated into their PE lessons.
Just tell us a bit more about Primary Stars.
So Primary Stars is a Premier League initiative, and it works on the whole child, not just them in their PE lessons. So we do some literacy, some numeracy, PHSE and enterprise. So it's just getting some more of their subjects that they do in school with an Everton staff, and maybe putting a bit of a football spin on it, sometimes a bit of an Everton spin.
Well, a little bit of an Everton spin has been provided by Michael Keane this afternoon. Michael, terrific, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a brilliant place to come and see. They're doing a great job here in the community, and it's great to come see all the kids having a great time.
I suppose that's part of it, especially when the kids are at that age. They're only small children there. They've got to enjoy it, haven't they?
Yeah, that's definitely the main thing. You see playing a few different kind of little games when I first came, and now they're playing a big side again. They're all loving it when they score a little goal, celebrating, and it's just good to see them all laughing and happy.
And when I speak to the staff and the coaches at Everton Community, they all say that the presence of a Premier League footballer really helps with this type of thing. It's humbling in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's good for us to get out. It's not just enjoyable for them, we enjoy doing it as well. It's good to come and see what's going on in the community. We know about the hard work that goes into this, so it's good to come and help make the kids happy, and that's the main thing.
Any good little footballers out there?
Yeah, there's a few. To be fair, we've not played much football, it's been handball, but there's been a few goals scored with the feet, which isn't allowed, but yeah.
The enjoyment side of it, Olivia, is absolutely crucial, or it wouldn't work.
Absolutely, 100%. If you enjoy something, you're going to carry on doing it, and that's what we try and instill in all of our children. If you enjoy something, you keep doing it. That's why all of our lessons are fun and engaging, and we try and keep them fresh and new, and try and capture their imagination with loads of different things, football being the main thing they're interested in.
Well, it certainly looks as if they're enjoying themselves, so we'll let you get back amongst it. Thanks for joining us.
Ouch!
Well, no Everton in the Community showcase event would be complete without us showcasing our disabled football, which by reputation, Sharpie, is the best in the country, and quite right too.
Yeah, it is. You know, Steve and the boys and girls do a fantastic job, and just looking in at the little coaching session there at the moment, it's amazing. You know, some of the guys you look and you're thinking, they look okay, you know, but then it's not just the ones that you see disabilities you can see, but also mental issues as well. But the boys do a fantastic job. Just speak to Steve before about it, and the most important thing, again, I keep saying this, yeah, it helps them, but it gets them out and keeps them fit as well, and there's all the wider issues as well, but certainly watch them, they're enjoying themselves. There's a few old faces in there as well, they seem to be around for a long time, so they're obviously enjoying it as well.
We've been to many disabled football coaching sessions, and the boys take such immense pride in wearing the royal blue jersey, Steve, don't they?
Very much so. It's a big honour for them to represent the club that some of them play for. There's even some Reds in there as well, kind of thing, you know. So yeah, but for them it's about having the opportunity to play football, you know, and obviously social interaction with other people as well.
You have to cater your sessions, I would imagine, because there are varying degrees of ability out there.
Very much so here. We've got participants from 2 of our different ability levels. So, I mean, you'll look at them and you as Graham said, you know, you wonder what the disability is. But a lot of them have got hidden disabilities. Could be learning disabilities. Could be a visual impairment. Could be autism. You know, so we cater for all different impairment groups, and then we assess each individual and try and put them in the appropriate ability band. So when they come up against other opposition, they'll play against, you know, players of similar abilities. So it's more of a level playing field.
The accent very much on enjoyment. The lads can enjoy their football, but they take it seriously out there, don't they?
They do, and I tell you what, some good players there as well. You know, I think people just go, oh well, no, they can't be that good, but there's some really talented guys out there as well, and they enjoy it. That's the most important thing. But it can be competitive, as Steve will probably tell you. They want to win, and it's not a bad habit to have.
Just a word about the coaches as well.
Coaches are brilliant. Coaches are brilliant. I believe that one of the coaches was actually in the disabled team himself. You know, obviously he's progressed now and he's become a coach, so that's fantastic to see that as well. Give him the opportunity to go on and do his coaching badges.
It's up to the other team to get the challenge in. All right.
And that's just about it for this week's Everton show. I'm sure you've all enjoyed, as we have, being amongst us here at the Everton in the Community Showcase event at this wonderful People's Hub complex. Let's hope we enjoy the game in the Premier League on Sunday afternoon at Old Trafford. Regardless of the outcome, we'll be back in 7 days' time for another Everton show. Do join us.